I don't know what that thing did. I'm live. Okay. That's a pretty good place to put a for sale sign. We're live for 19 seconds and I don't see anybody. Nobody alive today. There, that got a hello. Howdy y'all. How y'all doing? Alright, so it's a nice frosty 19 degrees right now. And my 8530's broken. Oh man, I can't catch a break. It's broken. Broken 8530. I got a bunch of hay laying on the ground now. But the nice thing is, they've got the part. I'm not spreading anything today. I'm going to be baling today. I started baling last night. Got around the field once. 8530. The belt, the variable drive belt on the fan blew up. Yep, it blew up. I guess because it wanted to. I don't know why it did. It just blew up, and it did do some cowling damage inside. But yeah, so, but whatever. Such is life. We got some cool days, cold days coming yet. A couple, 3 more. I'm gonna send my dad and Tim and Joseph out to work while I'm getting this tractor back together. Timothy's got to tear the yeah, what do you call it? Timothy's got to tear the side screens off the side of it. Tear the side screens off the side of it because it's got this very drive that comes off of the camshaft, and when you have that, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. My back is in horrible condition, but it's better than it was 4 days ago. I did this on Wednesday, so Wednesday morning I fell. Thursday was ridiculous. Friday was ridiculous. Saturday, I was thinking maybe I should probably go to the doctor and see what is bruised up in there, because the nerve endings were like alive and ready to, you know, every time I turned a funny direction, it was bzz, bzz, bzz into my spine. So it really did suck. You know what? Nah, fuck it. I ain't gonna deal with that. This is gonna be a short live stream anyway. So what I'll do is I'll go live again later, I guess, and put it, nah, the hell with it. I got my camera. I'll just videotape the events as they happen. So, but yeah. Yeah, so where was I at? You know, I get a phone call. It really screws me up. But yeah, so it's going to be a real bastard to put that belt on that camshaft, because I think the fan drive has to come off. And there's chunks of rubber stuck in the cam side of it, the driven side, because it drives off. I'm pretty sure it's the cam. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm about 90% sure it's the cam. Yeah, but there's a shaft right up there where the cam would be. It's not coming up from the bottom, and it's in the front, not off the back. I don't know. It's something. I've never been into a 9-liter engine before, so I don't know. I just don't know what's in there. Something about a trip to North Carolina. No, I'll be on that trip in a week or so. I think about a week. I'm going to go down and meet up with some farmers down there. Hopefully they got their wheat planted before they got 17 inches of snow, which I found to be holy hell. It's a lot of snow. Oh yeah, okay, near Charmin's. Yeah, I like that area. Up Leeds and up near, I got up pretty far up in there. From Leeds, you go west, up in England, if you know what I'm talking about, and the farmland up there was just gorgeous. I mean, the whole area, it's just gorgeous. You know, it's funny, I've been to other countries and places, and when I went to England, I was like, you know, this is just a beautiful place. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I mean, I don't know, you know, I don't know much about English culture, but I know that they seem to be, it seems like the farmers are really laid back and kind of easy to get along with, and they go down to the pub after they're done milking cows or shearing sheep or whatever it is that they do, and it just seemed like a really nice way of life. Here in my part of the United States, everything is so fast, and I'm finding out just by talking to people out in the United States that it's like you get in the Midwest and they're crazy in the spring, they're crazy in the fall, and then the rest of the year they're just like, work on some equipment, we'll do this, we'll do that. But nothing like what we do here on the East Coast. I mean, we're constantly chasing our tails, I guess I should say. And in England, it just, it seemed like, hey, again, go plow in the spring or in the fall. And, I think they plow mostly in the fall over there. And then in the spring, they work it down, or they plant some kind of beans there, winter beans, which I've never seen before. I don't even know, I guess they're for cattle feed, or something. But yeah, it's neat. It's just neat. But anyways, I just crossed the Delaware River, if you didn't know that. I just crossed over the Delaware River, and I'm on my way up to Allentown, Pennsylvania. Good Billy Joel song, Allentown. And I'm going up there. I got to pick up that fan belt for my 8530, and probably should pick up an engine oil filter while I'm there. Swap out that motor. Yeah, winter peas. Winter beans, not peas. Winter beans. I don't think they were peas. They were winter beans, and they were kind of a reddish-looking kidney bean. John and George were like, oh yeah, we plant these winter beans. And for the Pennsylvania we never found. Correct. And I'm living here in Allentown, in the Pennsylvania we never found. Out in Bethlehem they're building walls, building up stores, standing in line, and my singing really sucks today. There you go. Fan drive. Big joke of the system. I cannot agree with that. I do not agree with that. I like the fan drive, or the very drive in that van. It is... There's nothing here in Allentown. Yeah, there's a casino there now. But anyway, Donald Trump came about 25 years too late. About 25 years too late. Killed the steel industry before then. But no, I like it. It's a fuel saver. When it warms up and that thing fires up and goes, it really blows some air. It's a good cooling system. I don't know, maybe a direct drive would be better, who knows? But the problem with the direct drive is then it would have to be a clutched system, which needs air, which needs a compressor, or even electric. I guess you could use an electric, but even that, they have their faults. I've run semis. I've replaced fan clutches several times. The one that's in like the 4450 where it has the fan clutch, the temperature-driven fan clutch. That thing was a failure. Same in the 7410. 7410 has a fan clutch issue. My back hurts, but it's better than it was yesterday. I didn't take any Advil. I do have Advil with me. I don't like taking Advil. I'm more of an aspirin kind of a guy. The problem with aspirin is I did not want to use it because if I had internal bleeding, I was afraid that it would I'd bleed out into my bladder or something if my kidneys were damaged. So I decided I would just stick with the Advil. Yeah. Well, you could use oil pressure, yeah. I mean, you could, but again, do you really want to use that engine oil to pressurize a clutch and then, unbeknownst to an operator, that oil line rubs through or fractures and your oil runs out on the ground? and then you run the risk of burning up your engine. I'd rather blow up a belt. Personally, I think blowing up a belt is no big deal. It's no big deal. I should probably, well, let's put it this way. That tractor's got 4,600 hours on it. I'm pretty certain that's the original belt. Should have been changed when I bought the tractor. Definitely going to change all the belts and all the hoses on it before I go down south, down to the Carolinas, and get that done. So yeah, you just got to do some preemptive maintenance on your machines in order to get it to, where it needs to be. Oh, beans are a winter cover crop, so you don't harvest them, you just plow them under? Hamsters in the cage? Yeah, okay. You're gonna quote that whole entire song? Oh my goodness. I'm going to make hay today, yes. I have right now about 40 acres land. I'm going to send the boys over, my father and the boys over to mow over in Flemington, where there's another 70 acres on the backside and another probably another 120 acres to go, 140 acres over there. My back hurts. My back hurts. But it doesn't hurt as bad as it did, so I'm okay. And I'm still working, it's not like I quit working. I know if I'd have broke a bone, I would know. Here's the funny thing about people. When people get hurt, and I mean, there are times when you're hurt bad enough that you really need to go to the hospital. I wasn't hurt bad enough to go to the hospital. Well, maybe in everybody else's eyes, I was hurt bad enough to go to the hospital. But I laid on the floor for about 45 minutes. I did a self-assessment of my injury. Is it my spine? Well, no, it isn't my spine. Is it my hip? No, my hip's fine. Is it my ribs? I can deal with broken ribs as long as they're not protruding through the skin or completely. A cracked rib is fine. I have dislocated ribs before, and that sucks. But you do a self-assessment before you call an ambulance, because I think 90% of the time people are so quick to get me an ambulance, my dick is falling off, and next thing they get to the hospital and they just got a pinch. Dick ain't actually falling off. You just pinched it in your zipper, you fool. Unzip and try again. And that's just the way that works. And I don't know. I'm not one to run to the doctor every time my nose runs. Yesterday I got a nosebleed. Why'd I get a nosebleed? I'm prone to nosebleeds. I always have been. My blood pressure's okay. It's dry, cold air. And when you're outside in that dry, cold air, it dries out. The veins in my nose, nostrils are very close to the skin. And when it dries out in this cold, dry air, it cracks and I get a nosebleed, just the way it is. Don't neglect nothing treatment, Wes. I don't need treatment. Okay, so here's the other thing. I have friends, I do actually have a few friends in my life and people that I know that have had injuries, perfectly normal people, well-functioning, normal people. I know well-functioning, normal people that hurt themselves. No, I picked my nose. Here, pickies out there. Hey, you want them? Hey, you want some boogers? Jesus, people. Everybody picks their nose. Come on. Yeah. Oh, look at the blood. There it is. Oh, yeah, damn it. Anyway, I back to the subject. I know a lot of well-functioning people that had hurt themselves, whether it was a back injury, knee injuries, and what's the first thing a doctor prescribes when you injure yourself? Anybody? Pain relievers, Percocets, Duracets, all those different types of painkillers. And then when the painkillers don't work well enough, it's like common knowledge. Drink a beer with it. It'll make you feel better. It's synergistic effect of it. Next thing, you've got no pain. And the problem is, it's more fun to be numb, I guess, maybe, numb, than to feel the pain. And then your mind starts tricking you that the pain is worse. Good morning, BC65925. your mind will trick you into thinking that that pain is worse than what it actually is, so that you take that. What the fuck is that noise? Oh, they're pounding. Okay, they're doing a pile drive up here. I'm thinking my truck's falling in place. Are you using a heating blanket? I am using, not a blanket, but a heating pad on my back. Yeah, that works. The heating pad on my back. You know that pain pills and heat? Yeah, the pain pills, you have to feel the pain. If you don't feel the pain, then you'll do more work than you're supposed to, and you'll hurt yourself, making it worse and worse and worse. And I couldn't tell you how many people have said, hey, stop working, rest, and take those pain medications, it'll feel better. A lot of people will take the pain meds and then go to work and injure themselves over and over and over again, worse and worse and worse, creating a bigger problem than if they would have just dealt with the pain, went to work, learned their limitations, and bada bing, bada boom, you heal. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Pain pills and hoodwinked by an angel. Totally. Michael Fazio knows better than anybody else. You are running heavy equipment, taking pain pills and alcohol. Yeah, pain pills and alcohol. How's Daisy Mae's headache, by the way? That was a pretty funny story, actually. Yeah, they'll put you to sleep, and you can hurt somebody. You can hurt other people. Your judgment is off. Your perception is off. You can kill someone. That's why it says, do not drive or operate heavy equipment while under this, taking this drug. So I'd rather deal with the pain. I am dealing with the pain. 2 Advil in the morning is all I was taking. And that was just enough to take the edge off. Last night, oh, and get this. Not only do I have this back injury, and I was taking aspirin, but I had diarrhea, which is like really weird, but everybody in the house did. Tim, Teresa, William, we all had it. And I had taken my temperature a couple of times, and the night before last, I said to Teresa, I said, man, I got a fever. And I had just taken the Advil to go to bed because I want to sleep okay. So I take that painkiller or the Advil before I go to bed. Well, it had reduced my fever enough that I was still elevated, because my temperature is low to begin with. I'm like 97.8, 97.7, 97.9 normally. That's my normal body temperature. It's not 98.6 for me. So I was at 98.5. And Teresa's like, oh, well, that's normal. I said, yeah, it's not normal for me. That's still a little elevated, but it could be just because I'm in pain, and pain will cause your body to do funny things. So, and there ain't nothing like Michael Fazio's ass. I ain't never seen an ass purple in my entire life. And I was hoping that thing would reconnect. Are we reconnected? Yes, we are. Yeah, I just wanted to say that tooth would have went right up your ass. I've heard, I know a trauma nurse. She works in the emergency room, and she says falls from ladders produce more rectal injuries than anything else. And if that tooth would have went up your ass, God help you, my friend, it would have tore through your pants and right up the old orifice. You were lucky that you had a hip bone there. And you don't. I think you know how lucky you were. I think you do. That tooth was, man, when you showed that, I was like, holy Jesus, Pete. I have no physical bruising. I think it's so deep in my body that the muscles are just, it wasn't really a skin injury. I think Michael severed veins in his ass. He's like mince-meated his ass cheek. I bet that took a while to heal up, man. I'm sorry. You're gonna, yeah, okay. I didn't catch that. So, but anyway, yeah. I'm actually surprised the traffic isn't higher. It is 8:30 in the morning. I expected people to be out and about going Christmas shopping, because all these freaking people are nuts about Christmas. Yeah, nuts about Christmas. I need to get Teresa something for Christmas. I don't have anything for her right yet. And I've got some ideas. She wants one of the Peloton things, but I am not buying a Peloton. I am not buying a Peloton. That thing is ridiculous. You know, how many people, except for Michael Fazio, he trekked his all the way to the Philippines, but the exercise machines, I call them landfill fodder. I've seen them on porches, I've seen them in yard sales. Every household that's ever had a yard sale has had a exercise machine of some sort in it. And they're just 800 milligram. Motrin actually works better than your standard ibuprofen. I don't know what the buffers in it are. I think there might be some depleted cocaine in there. I don't know. That Motrin actually does have some serious Motrin or Midol. Is it whatever the one is for women's cramping? Should have hollered. I'd have forged you something. Yeah, you know, I'm not sure what I'm gonna get her yet. I mean, the old standby is just jewelry. It accents her beauty. But you know, I find jewelry is like a last ditch effort. You know, it's like the last resort. Oh shit, I don't know what to get her. Last year I bought her a Louis Vuitton, but Daisy May did rum and took one of my 500 milligram. Oh my God! And the size of Daisy May, that must have been. She's only a little thing. Drowned her own vomit. I know. I watched I watched your live stream. I watched it. She was trying to go back to sleep in her own vomit. I know. And that's a problem. Well, who was that? There was a. Was it from the rock group AC/DC? Didn't he drown in his own vomit? I know there was someone back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, the guy drowned in his own vomit. He was high on pills and alcohol. It just makes you so unaware of everything that's going on around you. And yeah, that's dangerous business when you do that. I had a girlfriend and she did that stuff. She would drink wine and take her pills, and it was like, man, what in the hell? What in the hell? I'm gonna bale straw in the spring when they're cutting it. Yeah, I gotta be behind the combine, and I'm not going to Australia. I think they're possibly cutting straw in Australia. Yeah, pretty soon. But yeah, Daisy May, 500 milligram of pain pills. 500 milligram pain medication. That's a lot for her frame. What the hell does she weigh? You know, 95 pounds. She's just this tiny little thing. It was Bon Scott of AC/DC. Yeah, I knew it was AC/DC. Yeah, he drowned in his own vomit. Yeah, that was like my favorite rock group when I was a kid. You know, I had every single tape at that time, and then when it came out with CDs, I just never followed them after that. Yeah, I just never did. I got over them, I guess. But I still have all the tapes down in the basement. Led Zeppelin too. Yeah, I knew Led Zeppelin. You know, these guys, well, their lives are so rough, you know. Honestly, these people, let's put it this way. Actors and actresses, entertainers, I would say, including myself, I'm going to lump myself into this group. We are the court jesters. You know, that's it. We are there to entertain. All right? I'm entertaining you with my daily life. Even though my daily life, I'm quite knowledgeable in what I do, and yeah, the king died of painkillers too. Oh yeah, true. Oh yeah, but he didn't drown in his own vomit. That's a very real problem. But anyways, we are the court jesters. So if you go to Hollywood, they're all court jesters, but they have an audience, a very large audience, and then they can spew their idiocracies all over the world, and their feelings and how they feel about, say, the President of the United States. And the reality of it is they mean nothing. They are people they act. You know, who was it? Bruce Willis. Like Bruce Willis a lot. I'm certain it was Bruce Willis. He stands up on gun violence. Now here is a man who has made millions upon millions upon millions of dollars depicting gun violence in his movies. And yet, he's part of the problem, but no, gun violence is an awful thing, and you need to stop gun violence. Well, when you're glorifying gun violence in your movies, and then you say that gun violence is a major problem, stop depicting gun violence. Oh, the Die Hard franchise, that's Red, great movies for sane people. For sane people. People that know the difference between fiction and reality. But these people have an audience where they can spew their agenda, which their agenda is contradictory to what they do on screen. And it's just, they're the court jesters, pay no mind. They're there to entertain you and nothing more. They give nothing to you. All right, so Donald Trump. What's Donald Trump? They tried to demonize Donald Trump as an actor on a reality TV show. Well, yeah, he did that, but that was long after his successes as a businessman. And his show that he was producing is kind of like me. His business sense and his successes in business are, hey, Aditha, how you doing? Donald Trump's successes in business prompted him to do a television show where he basically, I never watched it, but what I get of it was the gist of the show was, you're fired, you know? So if these people that were trying to be like Donald Trump didn't live up to the standards, Donald got to judge them and fire them. Done. So, yeah. But he's not the court jester. He was a successful businessman. And when people say, oh, he went bankrupt. Yeah, of course he went bankrupt. He had over 1,000 businesses. And out of the 1,000 businesses, one of them, lives through our real life videos. You're right. Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, totally. That's a cool guy. Arnold Schwarzenegger, for all his faults, I think he's a cool guy. I would actually like to meet that guy. Oh God. Sorry guys, did you got a headache? For all the people out there, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now here's an Austrian immigrant who comes over, realizes that he came from Austria. The Austrian government was more controlling than the United States government, the Republican Party, and he's a Republican, obviously. And he came here. He became the mayor of California. Was he a good mayor? I don't know. I don't know. I don't live in California. California is a shit show of biblical proportion, if you ask me. It could crack off the United States, disappear. I think Donald Trump ought to cut off all federal funding, and let them starve in their own swaller and shit. Because basically, and I'm not talking the country folks. There's a lot of country folk in California that suffer because of the court jesters that run that state. So, I agree. Hollywood definitely needs to stick to entertainment. They really do. Cut them off. If they have a voice, and did Elm Custom Harvesting send you a message after you blocked him? Yes. Yes, he did. And I did not respond. No. Yes, he did. I did not respond to it. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for the farmers in California. The back is sore, but I'm on the mend. Communist. Well, New Jersey isn't much better than California. We got ferret-faced Phil Murphy as a governor. That guy's off his rocker. And then, of course, we get court judges, Democratic court judges that they're just so oblivious to the realities of guns and gun control when they really should be addressing mental health and mental illness, because it takes an off-kilter, mentally ill person to grab up a gun and go into a city, or not a city, well, a city, a town, a hall, or a mall, or a movie theater, or a school, and shoot them up. But they always figure that it's the gun's fault. Like the gun went into the school, dragging the sick individual along with it so that it could commit its crimes. Well, the deep-seated sickness in people grab up a gun with this glorification. That's what they want. They want to be glorified in the end. It's like, I'm a loser. Everybody hates me because I'm a weirdo freak that nobody understands. And instead of going and spending their time and getting help, they obsess on certain things. Now, how can I become immortal? How will everybody remember my name? Well, I could invent the cure to cancer, which some of these people are actually intelligent enough that they could invent the cure to cancer. But no, it's easier to go buy a bunch of guns or steal them, get a bunch of ammunition, plan this intricate attack on innocent, unarmed people. And as you notice, most of these attacks take place in gun-free zones. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, gun-free zones, where a law-abiding citizen can't carry his sidearm into this gun-free zone. And, it amazes me. It amazes me. So you go into a gun-free zone, and it's easy because you have no opposition. So you kill 20 people, you kill 15 people, you kill 30 people, you wound 500 people, and everybody remembers your name because the court jesters of Hollywood and New York, they put their, whoa. Elm Custom Hire has cut back on the number of videos he makes. Well, he probably does. I mean, when you post 5 videos a day, who the hell got time to watch that? Post one, or post one every other day, and see how it goes. So anyways, you become immortal because the news media and the outcry from the court jesters that love to blame Donald Trump for these problems and the president for the problems. Even when Barack Obama was in office, it's, He had a lot of school shootings and things too. It's a problem elsewhere. It's not with the firearm, it's with the person that's wielding the firearm. But that's a very difficult thing to go through. Now, if you're going to purchase, well, here's one for you. So you take a perfectly sane, normal person, right, who can legally go buy a firearm, and they buy a dozen of them. Whatever. I've got several. Yeah. Oh yeah, Michael. I know. I mean, I've got. But let me finish here before let me digress, as you would say. You take a perfectly sane person who is capable of making sane decisions, carrying a firearm for self-defense and defense of his family and his property. See, now it's pretty much illegal in New Jersey to defend your property. If somebody comes to steal your tractor and you've got a shotgun, you're not allowed to shoot the motherfucker. You have to call the police and have the police come out and arrest him, which in most cases the bastard has run away or whatever, and they don't want to do anything about it anyway. So you take that sane person and something happens, something devastating. And I can tell you from personal experience that you start thinking a little weird when, say, a divorce comes into play and your wife is like threatening to make you destroy everything that you worked so hard for. You start to think a little weird, like, you know what? I farm at that time, I farm over 1,000 acres. I could bury that bitch someplace and nobody'd ever find her. So mental illness, I never acted on any of that stuff, but it didn't mean I didn't carry a .357 Magnum around for a while. Yeah, lady. Yeah, I did. I don't anymore. There's no guns in this truck, I think. No guns in this truck. But that's New Jersey. In New Jersey, if you legally can carry in Pennsylvania and you cross the Delaware River into New Jersey, and you still have that loaded firearm in your car, you're going to jail for 10 years because New Jersey doesn't give a shit. They suck. So, as Michael Fazio was saying a little bit ago, hoodwinked by an angel, that he carried a firearm for 19 years, and that gun never went, and he never had to kill anybody, or the gun never forced him to kill anybody. I believe that's what I read. I have a cousin who lives over here in Pennsylvania, and he says, "Oh, it's great. It's great, man. He's got a 9mm that he carries, concealed carry. It's loaded. If you have a loaded firearm in New Jersey." And Michael ought to know, New York is even worse. I don't even think you're allowed to own a firearm in the city of New York. I think he was raised in Queens. But in the city of New York, or the 5 boroughs, I don't even think you're allowed to own a firearm. So I have a neighbor, and he had to store his guns at his parents' place in Pennsylvania because he lives in New York City, and they're like, you can't even take it home. You can't even take your shotgun home. You have no right to defend yourself. They have to find your dead, bled out body in your home a week later after your pet dog has eaten your face off because it's starving to death. Because you can't defend yourself. Baseball bats. Baseball bats take more lives in the country than firearms do. And screwdrivers and knives take more lives than firearms do. It's just the left-wing liberal media and congressmen and women just feel that the firearm needs to go. Now, why does the firearm need to go? Well, we all know, and those conspiracies have been spewed all over the internet already, so what does it matter? Boy, Divorce husband cut her head off and drove around with it. He got pulled over. The cops saw the head. Ew. Well, yeah, I can see that happening. Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, I agree. Pharmaceuticals. Death by pharmaceuticals. Back in the early 2000s, the kids were talking about farming a lot. Yes, farming. Like, okay, farming. Hey, did you go farming this weekend? What do you got? It's like, what the fuck are you kids talking about? Farming. I used to coach wrestling, and I was around kids a lot. More people in America are killed by car accidents. Oh, totally. So what is farming, guys? I'm a farmer. I kind of know a little bit about it. What are you talking about? Oh, no, not that kind of farming. It's pharmaceuticals, like PHARMING, farming. So what they would do, these lovely little children, would go over to see grandma and grandpa, because, old people love their drugs. I mean, old people really love their drugs. They get some good ones. Old people get depressed because their kids don't visit them. They never see their grandparents. And they get, Ritalin and all these other antidepressants, which if you smoke them, snort them, and do other things with them, you can get pretty fucking high. So what these kids were doing is they were going into their parents' drug cabinets, medicine cabinets, swiping pills, and they were selling them back in the early 2000s. So pharmaceuticals, I think that doctors are the legal drug pushers, and they're way worse than the guy down on the corner peddling pot. Not that I don't agree with peddling marijuana. I just feel no need to smoke it or have it. But these kids were farming, going into medicine cabinets to their mom and their dad, their stepmoms, their stepdads, their adopted parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents. Great-grandparents have the best shit, because they're really old, and they got all kinds of stuff, and they may have misplaced them. You just never know. So, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So, I don't know. The world is out of kilter. That's another reason why I don't take drugs. It'll fuck your lives up and ruin you. People don't understand that, and lottery tickets, for Christ's sakes. You can go play the lottery. There's nothing wrong with playing the lottery. Go buy a lottery ticket. It costs you $1. I've seen people drop $1,000 when that lottery got to like $1 billion. $1 billion. People were dropping $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on lottery tickets. Yes, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on lottery tickets. Talk to the local store up there, and they're like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it." Teresa used to work at the store, and she said, "Oh, when it would get high, people would come in, and what they would normally spend $1 or $2 a week, that they would spend $100 or $200 a week trying to get that money." You're better off spending more money when it's low and winning than spending more money when it's high and winning. Just then. No, Teresa says, it just makes me look older. That's all. And besides, you know what? I love Teresa. Teresa loves me. And the beard is there. Okay, I got to read this one. So here we go. Because Michael Fazio's got some pretty good things here. Pistol carry permits. Oop, I'm moving over because I'm texting and driving. As a licensed business, deposit more than $5,000. Each bank drop requires a local police captain or a judge or some congressman to co-sign a concealed carry permit. Well, every time I go to the bank, it's a check, but I'm always carrying in value a lot, like way more than 5,000. Now, I don't know that checks matter. Cash, I get cash, but they could also kidnap me or my family, hold them at gunpoint in my own home, make me go to the bank and cash that check and bring it back so that they have cash. But yeah. Check Lives Matters. Watch this. This is my flip hat. America First. Catch some flack for this hat when I'm wearing it near the Crone Baylor. Now this guy's smoking a stogie about the size of Fidel Castro's. You know who Fidel Castro is? His fucking stogie's like, it's awesome. I'm sorry. Last time I smoked a cigar, my ex-wife, she wouldn't look at me. I don't smoke, but I was offered this cigar. Hey, you want to smoke a cigar? I was back in high school. Variable drive belt for the 8530. I'm actually surprised I'm able to drive 80 miles an hour on this road right now. It's crazy. Heard a story of people that spent the rent, food. Oh yeah, and those people like that are convinced that they're going to win the lottery. They are. Now, this was an old guy, and if that was a blunt, it would be like a thin one. You can buy blunts, they knock them. If you don't know what a blunt is, which I actually do, because, like I said, I used to coach wrestling, and these kids were, "Oh, you got any blunts?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, you little bastards?" I got after some of those kids. I quit coaching wrestling after about the 3rd year. I think some of the older kids, about whatever. Wow, Carl's going to be late today. But yeah, not that I ever caught them smoking pot, but it's just the way they were talking and the knowledge that they had. There was only a few kids that were, you had to worry. You just knew that they were so hyperactive and so I don't know. They were just so, I would say, not uncontrollable, but their minds were going very quickly. They had like this attention deficit kind of a thing. Like I was told I had attention deficit disorder with hyperactivity disorder. Attention deficit with hyperactivity disorder. So you can do two things with this. You can either harness your abilities, which I think attention deficit is just the It's a boredom kind of a thing, and you need to harness the hyperactivity side of it to keep yourself from being bored. Now, yeah, there just is. I say complete a job. Doesn't matter how long it takes you to complete the job, but complete the job before you start another one. Unless, of course, the next job is more important than the first job you started. But the hyperactivity thing is what keeps you going all night long. Like if you got a bunch of hay to make and the weather's right, and ADD and ADHD. ADHD is what I was diagnosed with when I was in the 3rd grade, which was bullshit. I think it's a personality versus a disease that you can get pharmaceuticals for, which in fact I never took the pharmaceuticals. My son Timothy which is total bullshit. He may have attention deficit, but he does not have the hyperactivity. I can tell you that. That kid needs a bullwhip on his ass to make him move. And if you could see the cloud that I'm looking at, it looks like a gigantic vortex, a vortex that could possibly suck airplanes into. And Michael Fazio knows a little bit about that, like into the Pentagon, where the wings and shit just got sucked into a vortex, into another dimension. What the hell was that guy's name? Anyway, that was pretty funny. I don't have my stainless steel hat on, but it's pretty funny. You've been driving almost an hour. You must live way out in the sticks. Okay, so that was my resident asshole troll trying to call me, trying to ruin my video. He must have got up. He must have woke up. His mom must have shook him awake. When Lonely Farmer's on, you must annoy him because it's the only thing you have in life. Well, here you go, buddy. This is for you. Anyway, yeah, I've been driving almost an hour. What the hell? And this has actually been a pretty quick drive. Generally takes me, about that much time to get there. Eric's awake? Yeah, it could be. I don't know. We had an agreement and he broke it. Whatever. It's just block time. And if he makes any of his troll friends come over to my channel start being assholes, I'm just going to block him. Eric's been blocked. He's blocked on this channel. He's going to be blocked on the next one. If he comes on with the Farming Life channel and starts spewing anything, even if he tries to be nicey nice, we all know what kind of a liar he is. And, when you make an agreement with someone and you agree, Michael Rivero in the garden. The glass balls. Michael Rivera has glass balls. Google it. Mike Rivera has glass balls. Yeah, I actually have not seen that video for some reason, and I really actually need to watch that because, there's a lot of crazy things that happened during 9/11, and I believe that the airplanes hit the towers. I really do. It's just my own personal, I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories, and I know that the towers came down. Was it an elaborate scam to get us into an endless war for 20 fucking years? Possibly. I don't know. I'm not that educated, I guess, on the conspiracy theories. I do know, I'm pretty sure that the airplanes went into the towers. I wasn't there, but my sister was. My sister was in Newark, and she was coming up over the hill as the towers were burning, and she could see them, and she's like, "Wow, what the hell is that?" And she spent the day in Newark. She worked at the UMDNJ. She was doing blood research for the Navy, and it is actually fake blood. So they needed a replacement for blood. And the conspiracies that go on in this world and the sabotages that go on in this world are off the charts nuts. So my sister worked at UMDNJ while this whole thing was going on, and the blood research was like this artificial blood. So if you're on a battlefield and blood expires, you can only take it along with you for so long. And if you have to actually have the type, or I guess plasma is a little different, that's made from blood. I'm not sure. I didn't work in the field, but my sister did. So, but this fake blood was, it had a shelf. It didn't have a shelf life, I guess. It was just blood. It was fake blood. It was meant to carry oxygen just like blood did, and it was some form of an organic, and it was to, she actually got published in the New England Journal of Medicine over this research she was doing. They did it on hound dogs. Well, the crazy thing about this was that the PETA, people eating tasty animals, yes, PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals is what PETA stands for, if you don't know. But PETA actually had an implant into that facility, and there are the dogs had to be pure. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Anyway, I think that's what it was. The PETA, the person that was taking care of the dogs, would give the dogs certain things, and when they would draw blood on the dogs, there would be certain types of drugs that were in the dog's system that shouldn't have been in the dog's system, and then they couldn't use the dogs. So they ended up, you can't fire somebody who has tenure. She had tenure in the system, I guess, there in UMDNJ, and she would sabotage these dogs to inhibit the use of the dogs in the research, which in turn would save our soldiers' lives. Now, this research was going on before 9/11. My sister graduated college in '99, and she was doing this research for a couple of years. They were getting really good at it. It was working. It was working. So things were getting close. It was working. So this woman took over the job of taking care of the dogs in the pound where the dogs were housed, and they used a certain type of dog, a hound dog, because a hound dog has no master. They just don't care about people. They know one thing, and that is to track, and they're bloodhounds. So anyway, i.e. bloodhounds. Anyway, the bloodhounds were, that's why they used them, because they were bloodhounds. And they didn't have a master. Anyways, they were sabotaging this thing. So the last year that my sister worked in the office, because there was so much sabotage, they actually shut the program down. My back is feeling pretty shitty, but it's better than it was. But anyway, I am here at the John Deere dealer, and used to watch Elmer Fudd blow up Daffy Duck's head, every day with 12-gauge shotgun. Never bothered him. My bloodhound chews up my snap-on screwdrivers. You probably eat your wife's tampons too, because that's just the way those fucking dogs are. Video name is Mike Rivera Has Glass Balls, and if you Google it, it's still available. I'm gonna have to Google that. But anyways, I'm at John Deere. I have to get my shit together and get going. So yeah, it took me 53 minutes to get here. So hi from Serbia. I'm on my way out. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget, Google Mike Rivera Has Glass Balls. And let me see if I can end this thing. Do-do-do.